uh, going to school that morning in a good mood because they know they have practiced, they know they have practiced well. And then they see themselves start the exam and how they are doing well, how they are solving the problems the same way they have solved similar problems before in school and at home. That is the general idea about it.
Physically see yourself solving the problem. You see a piece of paper, you get a feeling, do you get the prize afterwards? How do they make this picture? Solving mathematical problem.
I don't think they get the picture of any problem, any specific problem on the piece of paper, but they can see and visualize the situation where they are sitting calmly during the exam and doing very well, which gets rid of the nervousness, and it also calls for their hidden knowledge. But I cannot prepare them for every problem. So it's not the same thing as in sports where you have to run the fastest or jump the highest or something, which of course is easier to make a very vivid picture of. By the way, I also, on practicing mathematics, I try to avoid to tell them that they have solved the problem incorrectly. I normally just cross the problem out, and then there's B, C, and D for the same number. So I do B together with them in their own book, and then they practice C and D. And we just leave the A problem that, well, it has never been. Really the same way as I have heard one or two lectures that coaches in sports today try to adopt and not just concentrate on mistakes. Does that answer the question? Very good. We might have time for another question, yes?
Well, don't you think that this group, mental training group, got more attention from you than the others? You said there were two groups. And you had mental training and you had some talk. Wouldn't that have
Yes.
affected?
Oh, yes. Yes, that is true. They did, of course. The other participants chose not to take part. And the control group really wasn't those pupils. Now, this is many years ago, and I don't have the results. Especially one of the other groups were quite similar to this one. And those should have been the real control group, not the ones in the same classroom. If you noticed, it was only boys participating in this group, and most of the girls did not. This might be due to, I don't know, but a probable explanation is the girls in this group, they were from the Mediterranean region, all of them. And, well, that might explain it, I don't know. Today, my group mostly consists of girls, which is very interesting to me. So it's the other way around. And almost none of the boys is taking part. Any more questions? Yes?
Are there certain age groups that are resistant to doing it? Or the groups that you work with, they split about half and half, right? Half of them want to do it and half don't. What about at different ages? Have you worked with different ages?
I work with the pupils from 13 to 16 years of age, and I'm on the ground level in my experience, so my experience isn't wide enough to answer your question, I'm sorry to say. But it's a very complex situation, really. And I'm doing this within mathematics or within science or as a theme in school. I'm not doing it in sports, which most people, unfortunately, believe it should be done in sports. That's where it belongs. And this is probably due to the history of mental training in Sweden, which is very good for learning the methods. But I think life has more to it than jumping the highest and running the fastest, which is, as I take it, what they do in sports sessions in school. Sylvie? Any more questions? Yes?
Both of you have perhaps the previous. Do you think that when working with mental training, we are working with culture, ways of existing together, more than more like specifically simulating this way of solving problems.
You mean if working with mental training, if that means we get more closely together than just working on the problem-solving basis in school?
Changing ways of communication and whatever that may...
Yes, of course that is a risk. All changes, whatever you want to explore, the lighting of the room or anything, all changes, and the questionnaire that follows it will cause attention. And of course, those pupils get a lot of my attention because I question them both by mouth and on the papers. And of course, this might influence the results. But I don't think that is the whole explanation. But you can, I mean, working with people, you can always, and of course this is always questioned as well. Is it the mental training or is it something else? Maybe I'm a good teacher. I don't know. I'm not an educated teacher yet, but I have to get that rubber stamp in the forehead. So I'm also attending the Lärarhögskolan in Stockholm. But there is also more to it because it's not just the mental training. I have some other methods, like I mentioned, to cross out the problems that the pupil is solving correctly. And normally I work with one child at a time. I work very little at the blackboard. It was this original group. They drove me from the blackboard. They didn't behave if I turned them the back. So I just had to walk around among them. And that's when I learned how effective it was to show one pupil at a time. Of course, it takes quite some time to show them all, but you have his or her full attention while you're doing it. Yes?
I think you are a very good teacher.
Thank you. I think so too.
Thank you.
Yes. I will put some sheets of paper here up front for you to sign your name on.